Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kool-Aid here, and today I got some more TDM on No Shower Canal. It's going to be using KH2000. Uh, Something I'm going to talk about today is assault rifles post-patch. I know this has been, the patch has been out for a while. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. I just kind of wanted to get a clear-cut picture of these guns, not just go off of stats, and, not just go off of what other people had to say, because sometimes I like a gun better than somebody else will, and it'll definitely change my opinion just on how I use it. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't just go strictly off of what other people say. You should kind of go with what works best for you. So first off, let me just say that when I initially heard that the M416 was getting nerfed, I was actually pretty pissed off about it, just because it didn't need to be buffed. Or did I say nerfed? I meant buffed. It didn't need to be buffed. You'd think that my most used gun getting buffed would actually make me happy. That's not the case, and it's not because I didn't want everybody and their mom using the same gun that I use. That really has nothing to do with it. It just, like I said, I did not feel that it needed to be buffed. The M16 did get a slight nerf, which that desperately needed. However, the more and more I look at it, just the slight nerf that they gave it, and then the buffs that they gave the M416. Actually, after playing with them after the patch, I don't think it's that bad. Right now, I honestly think there are three guns that are probably being considered for comp play. I don't play competition. I got a lot of friends that do or used to, and I haven't talked to them about it, but I would go ahead and make a pretty fair assumption that those three guns, the M16, the M416, and the AEK, are going to be the main guns used in comp play. I'm going to go ahead and guess the M416 is probably number one. But like I said, I don't know for sure. But to me, those three are still, the top tier. They're going to be the top upper echelon of assault rifles. Out of those three, it really depends on yourself and what map you're on, sort of, to kind of determine which one of those you are going to use. Personally, I like the AEK out of those. The higher rate of fire is, going to get the job done over the other two, even though you're going to have to deal with that extra recoil. But the thing is, if you're playing TDM especially, most of your encounters are going to come at medium to closer range, where that recoil is really not going to, come into effect as much. However, the AEK has that 100 rounds rate of fire higher than the M16 and 150 rounds higher than the M416. That is very significant. Most encounters in this game are not going to be an equally matched. You are going to click at the exact same time. However, with the AEK, you can actually, overcome somebody shooting at you first. With the M416, that is going to be much harder to do, especially if the player is halfway decent. But for the most part, if you get in a 1v1 and they're shooting at you first, as long as they're doing their job at hitting you, you're going to die regardless of weapon. And that's just not talking about these three. That's talking about any of them. But if you want to give yourself the best chance to win those, those type of encounters, you are going to want to go with the AEK. The M416 and M16, however, really, will probably start to shine when you feel that you're going to be getting in longer range encounters where that recoil is not going to be there like it is with the AEK. Sorry, the M16, they did add a little recoil. It does have more than the M416 now. You could definitely tell that it has more than the M416. However, it's still not there with the AEK. But like I said, if you just want to go all out accuracy, the M416 is the way to go out of those three. So now that I've kind of established those three as the top ARs, I will kind of go with a second tier, which I would put the F2000, the KH2002, and the M16A4 in this tier. The F2000 is the only fully automatic out of this group. It's very, very good. I mean, it's going to have a higher rate of fire than the M16 and the M416, obviously. Not as quite as high rate of fire as the AEK. It's kind of a middle ground there, although it has higher recoil than the AEK. So really, there's not a point in using it over the AEK. However, it is not a bad gun. You're not going to, if you're using it, you're not going to do bad simply because of the gun. I mean, it is right there with those other three. The other two I mentioned are burst fire, obviously. KH-2002 to me is actually my favorite weapon. As you can see in this video, I'm pulling off a lot of hip fire shots with it. I feel it has really excellent hip fire. Feel it's really good in mid or close to and mid range, and I also feel it has an advantage at longer range over those top three guns that I mentioned. Just maybe it's the fact that it's burst fire, but I feel it's really controllable at longer ranges. I'm not talking extreme, sniper ranges. However, I can stand on the one end of Noshar and pick off snipers up on the railroad tracks very frequently and very easily with this weapon. I don't feel like I can do that as easily with the top three guns. So, like I said, map factors in. If I was playing on Karg, I would much prefer to definitely use the KH-2002. Server size also factors in. If I was playing on TDM Noshar with 64 players, I probably would actually prefer one of the top three fully autos over the KH-2002. But anyways, moving on to the M16A4, which I also put in this tier. This is very similar to the KH-2002. I don't know what it is. I feel the KH-2002 is slightly better. That's why I prefer it. But they are very similar. And if you like burst fire weapons, the M16A4 is a very good option. So outside of those two tiers, I am going to kind of make a separate tier for the G3 and the FAMAS. They are actually polar opposites in terms of rate of fire. The G3 is that 34 damage gun, 34 damage option that the assault rifle kit has to offer, which is going to turn, killing somebody from 4 hits to 3 hits. But it does come with a price. That price is lower magazine and a very slow rate of fire. The FAMAS, like I said, is the polar opposite, and it has an extremely high rate of fire, almost double that of the G3. But both of these guns sound awesome in that regard, but they are a little bit harder to use. The FAMAS comes with a smaller magazine as well, in 26 rounds, and it feels like if you hold down the trigger with this thing, you will go through those 26 rounds very fast. You have to really control your rate of fire with this, and it does have a lot of first shot recoil. That's to balance that high rate of fire. To me, the FAMAS got a little over nerfed back in the day when they nerfed this thing. It basically has 3 downsides, 2 that I mentioned, and it also has a slower reload time. It still does, like I say, have very high potential though, just because of that rate of fire. You can get accidental triple sprays for days with this thing. It is a lot of fun to use as well. The G3 I prefer on single fire. I think that's where it starts to shine. If you can be very accurate with it, it does have a lot of potential because of that 34 damage. So those two, I wouldn't say are as good as the other 6 that I mentioned, but they do have very nice potential. They can be a nice change of pace, and you can have a lot of fun with them. The next gun I want to mention is the AN-94, and I'm not ranking these anymore at this point. I wasn't really ranking the FAMAS and the G3 higher than the rest of the guns I'm going to talk about. Just kind of splitting up into the tiers. The top 6, I will say, are probably the top 6 guns. After that, it comes down to really just what you prefer, and I put those put that G3 and the FAMAS in that tier together because of the potential, and they're unique to the kit. The next gun I want to talk about is the AN-94. People love this gun and people hate this gun. I personally hate this gun. I've done really well with it at times, and other times this gun has made me absolutely rage. It supposedly has 1,200 round per minute potential on burst fire mode. I call bullshit when I see this. I've never actually tested it, so I could be wrong, but I just don't feel like I get this. I might. It's funny because as much as I say I hate this gun, like once a month I go back and I try to give this gun a try because of that 1,200 rounds per minute. I really want to like it, but I just can't do as well with this gun as I do with other stuff, or maybe I just feel like I can't. But anyways, it is a unique gun. It is 2-round burst. Like I said, many people love it. I hate it. The rest of the assault rifles, I'm going to kind of put into their own tier. The AUG A3, the AK-74M, the L85A2 and the Scar L. Now these are all very nice guns, very fine guns. They're all very accurate guns. The problem with these is their rate of fire kind of limits their potential. Now don't get mad if one of these is your favorite assault rifle. Like I said, I'm not ranking these at this point. However, their rate of fire is just going to kind of limit their overall potential. I mean, they're all accurate. They're all very good. I've had really good games with pretty much any of these guns. And to be honest with you, almost every encounter in this game is not going to depend on what weapon you have. It's going to depend on you actually, putting yourself in a good spot, you being first, and you not missing your shots. Basically, you doing your job. The weapon will do its job. And as long as you can do that, you are going to come out on top most encounters. I do actually like the balance that DICE has going on right now. I thought, once they said they were going to buff the M416, it was going to easily be higher than the rest of the guns. But it actually does have a nice balance right now. I mean, there are a kind of a clear-cut top three, but that's not necessarily bad. I mean, it's definitely better than having the M16 as the only gun that everybody uses. But I don't think every gun should be balanced according to every other gun in the kit. And I don't think every gun should kill in the exact same amount of time. So right now, I do really think DICE has a good balance. I think they're basically every gun in the assault kit is perfectly viable and usable. You may not like one of them. There's a couple I don't really like. However, they are not bad. Like the AN94 is a perfect example. Not a big fan, but other people love it. So that tells me right there that there is a nice balance in this kit. So I kind of going to just kind of commend DICE on their balance, and I know many of you are probably going to disagree with that, but that's what the comment section's for. So let me have it. Let me know about anything you guys disagree with. But that pretty much wraps up what I had to say about assault rifles. I'm sure I missed something. I'll try to do better next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.
I don't know if we got a squad though.
Probably not.